How bad then is this drought?
Well, simply put, it's the worst in more than 50 years. Taiwan is usually an incredibly wet place. I've lived in Taipei on and off for more than 20 years, and I've certainly never experienced a lack of rain like this before. And it could be a bigger worry even for the government than the current COVID outbreak, because that eventually will pass. And what we're seeing in Taiwan is the impact now of years and years of climate change. Between 1957 and 2006, the summer has become almost a month longer in Taiwan, and the winter, conversely, a month shorter. And the average temperature here has risen by about 1.3 degrees Celsius over the past century. That's about twice the global average. And so the upshot of that is that reservoirs here are running dangerously low. Rainfall over the past year has been just about half the annual average. And it should be raining now, quite frankly. We usually rely on the annual rainy season in May and June to refill our reservoirs here. But these, what they call the plum rains, have been disappointing so far. And the Weather Bureau isn't expecting any sizable rainfall over the next few weeks either.
Yeah, and Sam, I guess pointing out the obvious, this is not a liquidity problem that the central bank can do anything about, right? How is this impacting the economy, and what is the exact impact that we are seeing?
Well, it's certainly raising serious concerns about Taiwan's ability to keep up with surging demand for Taiwanese-made electronics, especially semiconductors. Factories are running at full tilt to keep up with that demand from overseas. And so any limits on water supply could mean that they have to dial back production. The bigger companies, such as TSMC, have come up with backup sources of water. They've been shipping it in on trucks from parts of Taiwan that aren't experiencing a drought. So far, none of them have reported any impact. And if you look at industrial production and export data, they continue to be strong. But of course, the main victims of the drought are the farmers, who consume more than 70% of Taiwan's water. Industry makes up only about 10% of Taiwan's water use. And the government began suspending irrigation to paddy fields in the south of Taiwan back in July, prioritizing the tech industry. So, just another instance of, industry prioritized over farmers.
Samson, if there is a silver lining, is it an accelerated shift towards renewable energy? Is that a catalyst?
Well, that might actually be one of the concerns in Taiwan. So the hydropower overall only makes up about 2% of Taiwan's energy mix, but it's actually a fairly crucial 2% because it's a fast response form of energy. You can turn on the generators in a hydropower plant very quickly, and they start generating electricity almost immediately. So this helps the power company respond very quickly to surges in power. So because of the lack of water, what you're seeing now is that Taiwan's energy grid is becoming increasingly fragile. They don't have enough water to be able to quickly ramp up output of power. And then, so that has led to some rolling blackouts. Recently, Taiwan is spending a lot on building out its offshore wind energy and solar power. And of course, these are very flat forms of energy. You cannot ramp up energy output. If it's absolutely not up to you how much energy they're producing. So at the same time, Taiwan has been trying to decrease its reliance on nuclear energy. But this may lead to a bit of a rethink about that. Increasingly, we're getting companies coming out and saying we need more cleaner, reliable forms of energy. And the one option there is, of course, nuclear.